to us.
Here comes the
UPS guy. Hey! You're good.
Here, I got it.
Yeah, just come over. Hey DIYers, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Allie from Whimsy Box.
Welcome to DIY5, where we count down 5 of our favorite DIYs from the week, tell you what's been going on around Whimsy Box, and talk about whatever else is on the top of our head. So let's get to it.
Awesome.
So Mandy Pellegrin, who you might know from her fun blog Fabric Paper Glue, created this really cool black and white brushstroke bench. Well, black and white brushstroke bench for design sponge. So it's super graphic black and white and then brass legs. I was like, that is a sexy bench.
I want to sit on that bench.
Yes, I want to put that in my house. I actually have a bench project in the works for this weekend, actually inspired by a project that Mary Thought did, but it's not going to turn out as cool as this one. So bravo, Mandy.
Nice job. Well, Caitlin of the Mary Thought created this hanging jute basket for the blog Poppy Talk. It's a great storage option made from natural materials, so jute, rope, and leather. And she sewed the jute rope in a spiral using a zigzag stitch on her sewing machine, and then attached the leather hangers to suspend it. So you can fill it with fruit or a potted plant for storage that's out of the way, yet still on display.
Look at you with the rhyme.
I rhymed it.
The bench she made used jute as well, so she must be in a jute kick.
Yes.
Super cool. So My Little Secrets made these Insta-Toms shoes by, amazingly, printing out some of her favorite Instagrams and Mod Podging them directly onto the shoes.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy. I never would have thought to try that, but I think they came out really cool looking.
Nice.
And I personally go through a pair or two of Toms every summer. In fact, last summer I had this crazy Toms tan line, which they cut like straight right across like the top of your foot. It's not a very good tan line, but I definitely want to give this one a try.
Yeah. Well, Lovely Indeed posted this clever DIY that uses a silicone ice cream tray, silicone ice cube tray, and quick dry cement, and she created dominoes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I like this one. So she painted the dots on the dominoes using basic craft paint, so you can do like a different color for each number, whatever. But there's tons of domino games out there. My favorite is Mexican Train.
I do not know any domino games.
It's fun. It's fun for adults, but it's also really good for kids too. It's a great way for them to learn like matching and numbers and just basic like gaming play. And it's great if you want to take the game outside, because unlike cards, they're not going to blow away.
Yeah, like when you're camping or something, and you're like, whew.
Yeah, so I thought this was a really clever one.
That's very cool. I have a favorite board game. You want to just hear about it?
Yes.
We just started playing this new game called Puerto Rico, which seemed like if you're a board game person, so I like playing Settlers of Catan a lot too. But if you want another cool one to try, I recommend trying Puerto Rico, because I played a lot in the last couple weeks and it's super fun.
We need to have a game night. We keep saying
I
this.
know! How about this weekend, for real?
I know, we really should. Because there's tons of games. You're competitive.
What? Yes.
You like this, like the strategy games where you have to but yeah, there's tons of them out there. We've got a bunch. I don't know. It's just a great way to get together. And good, clean fun.
Until you start playing Cards Against Humanity, and then it's not clean
Not
at
so
all.
clean.
Okay, sorry, that's a side note. Finally, it would be remiss if we did not mention a Mother's Day project, since Mother's Day is Sunday. So dress up your Mother's Day gift, sorry, I'm like off my game now, with these really simple and beautiful and free printable tags from Almost Makes Perfect. So if you don't have any cards or wrapping paper in the house, no problem. You just print out one of these cute tags and tie it onto a brown paper package. And if you don't have brown paper on hand, which you should at all times really, it's so handy, what we used to do when I was a kid was just cut open our paper grocery sacks and flip them inside out. And then instant gift wrap. Or we used them for like cookie, holding cookies when they got out of the oven.
Oh, that's perfect. Or bacon.
Yeah, totally.
So many ideas.
So many ideas. Okay.
But call your mom.
Yes. So as always, you can find the links to each of these projects in the show notes below. And go poke around the site, because there's hundreds more fresh and fun DIY ideas to discover. So here's what's happening around the office.
Awesome. So this week's featured influencer is Alexis from the blog Persia Lou. So Alexis actually started blogging about crochet. She kind of just got hooked. And she uses that pun in her blog. But like all creative types, her interests grew and expanded to include a variety of crafts, from sewing and paper to home decor and tasty treats. She bakes as well. So the girl's got talent, and she's also not afraid of color, I noticed, which I love as well. So check out the blog Persialoo, and you'll find loads of inspiration from both Alexis and a multitude of her crafty friends. Because also, typical of great bloggers, they all share ideas and link to each other, which is great. So thank you, Alexis, and we're happy to have you.
Awesome. So May Whimsy boxes, I can't believe it. I feel like, last week we did April review, and now we're talking about May boxes. They are being packed up, and I know we always say this, but for serious, you do not want to miss this one.
Let's go.
As you may know, our pro members, which is anybody with a 3-month or longer recurring subscription, they get a choice to customize their box when we have an option, and we sent it out earlier this week, and the choice was between 2 color palettes, either Rich Romance or Peachy Keen.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Any guesses what that means? Just kidding, you can't guess, you know. We can't tell, but they are both gorgeous, and you're totally going to want one. So if you're not a subscriber yet, go to whimsybox.com/subscribe by Thursday, 5/15. That is the last day to subscribe and get the May box.
Yes. All right, and I have a message from your mom. She wanted us to tell you that she really wants a Whimsy Box subscription for Mother's Day this year. Like, really bad. So it's not too late. We have an instant email delivery still available, and if you use the code MOMSROCK on or before 5/11, you'll save $10 on a 3-month or longer subscription for mom. So go to whimsybox.com/gift to purchase.
Yes, and finally 2 big pieces of news from the Whimsy Box shop. First, we are growing like crazy. Like, I was trying to come up with a good analogy, like springtime flowers or teenage boys or something. In fact, today we have 10 times as many items as we had available when we sat right here last week, which is nuts.
It's crazy.
So we hope this makes it easier for you to create supply lists for your projects and just to find what you're looking for when you're getting ready for your next DIY and you're shopping. So I hope you'll go check it out.
Yes. And the other big thing is that we've got our biggest sale ever.
Really, biggest ever.
Going on right now, and it ends Monday. So all of our Whimsy Box kits, tool sets, supplies, they're up to 40% off while supplies last. So it's a huge spring cleaning sale, and we expect to sell out of many items before the sale ends Monday. So hurry up and go check it out at whimsybox.com/sale.
All right. On to the silly stuff.
All right.
So last night I read a book that I just thought I would share.
Yes, I'm interested in this because I've been hearing lots about it.
Yeah, so a new book called Girl Boss, or #Girl Boss, I guess is technically the title, came out this week, and it's written by Sophia Amoruso, who is the founder and CEO of a company called Nasty Gal. If you don't know Nasty Gal, you should not be scared off by the name. It's just a cool clothing company. Started as a vintage shop on eBay and grew into over $100 million business, which is amazing.
Wow.
And they sell totally online right now. And in the book, she tells the story of where the name came from. So if you're like, that's weird, you can go and read about it.
Cool.
So Nasty Gal is a super innovative e-commerce company, and it's one that we like to watch since we are also an e-commerce company. And the book, I read the entire thing last night after I got into bed and before I fell asleep. So it's a pretty quick read.
Nice.
It's not a super in-depth business book if that's what you're looking for, but it's a great inspiration, and it would make the perfect gift if you know like a high school or college graduate, or just somebody who's sort of in their quarter-life crisis, searching for like, where am I going, what am I doing? And since I read it on my Kindle, I highlighted some of my favorite nuggets.
Nice.
I thought I'd
Let's
just share
hear
a few.
Let's hear about it.
Story time. First, we will load them. Okay, I even starred them, so I'm totally prepared.
Wow.
Starting at the top. So in the very beginning of the book, I thought this was cute. This is just to give you an idea of the tone. She's very like fun and casual and irreverent, if you couldn't tell by the name of the company. But she's like, when you're reading this, I have 3 pieces of advice I want you to remember. Don't ever grow up, don't become a bore, and don't ever let the man get to you. Which is not about men in general, but it's capital M, man.
The man.
Yeah. Okay, cool, let's do this. And then there's just a lot of sort of good nuggets. Know that there is no finish line. Fortune favors action.
Yes.
I think that's really good advice. This one I really love because I'm a girl and I'm leading a company as well. And lots of times people say like, oh, what's it like to be a woman leading a company? It's like, what's it like to be a man? I don't know. I've always been a girl. And so she says in the book, I have never once in my life thought that being a girl was something I had to overcome. I thought that was where I was like, yeah, me too. And then she goes on to say, I believe the best way to honor the past and future of women's rights is by getting shit done. Instead of sitting around and talking about how much I care, I'm going to kick ass and prove it.
Cool.
And I like this because it talks about creativity. You combine hard work, creativity, and self-determination, and things start to happen. So that was sweet. And I thought about this a little bit too. I think all of us have probably had jobs that were not a good fit for us, whether it was like your first job out of college. You've had a million jobs. Allie's always got a story. She's like, once when I was and so she's talking about when she's bored at like, you know, some of the boring jobs she had that were not a good fit. She says, what I know now is that nothing is universally boring. What's boring to you could be totally engaging to someone else. If you're bored and hating it, it's a big sign that you're most likely just in the wrong place.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us grow up thinking like following the footsteps of our parents, where they have to go and work for somebody else for 30 years and then they collect their pension or their retirement or whatever. And it's just not like that anymore.
It's totally different.
And I think it's important for people to know that they can make their own job, basically, or whatever that, you know, whatever they want to do. You can build it yourself.
Chart your own course. Good simple advice: sell things for more than you pay for them, and save more than you spend. So there's a lot of financial advice in the book too, which is pretty cool. She says, spend money because it's an investment in your own well-being, not because you're bored and have nothing else to do. Which is what I did when I got my first job out of college.
Yeah.
I was bored, I was living in Dayton, Ohio, and my hobby was basically going to the mall. And I bought a lot of clothes from inexpensive clothing stores that lasted like one season. I never fit right, and don't do that.
Yeah, the clothing thing, like the clothes is, I mean, it's a girl thing in a lot of ways to like, you know, have like a closet full of clothes.
It picks you up for a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like I felt happy for a week or two, you know, the first time I wore it, and then,
Yeah, but now with like online shopping, you really can, it's not about going through the sale racks. Like you can really hunt online and find really good pieces.
Yeah,
like,
things that are affordable and really reflect who you are. Hopefully they'll last a little while. Even if they're inexpensive, hopefully there's something that you want to wear for a while.
I hate them all.
Yeah, me too. Okay, I could read like a zillion of these, but I'll just do two more. Okay, for me, creativity isn't just in my work, it's in how I think and live my life. It's not necessarily about always creating something new, but simply having the space and freedom to let something special happen. It's how I bring beauty and joy into my surroundings and my relationships. I like to be challenged. Seeing or reading something that opens my eyes gives me chills and is the whole point of everything. My advice to aspiring girl bosses: as hard as it is, stop caring so much what other people think. Find a way to hear what you want. Recognize what is your dream. And then put everything you have into it. Your work, the relationships you surround yourself, the food you put in your body. Oh, that note got too long. Everything you have control over in your world should feed that dream and make you feel like a girl boss.
Cool.
That was a long one, and that's a good one to end
That's
on,
a good one to end on.
We'll wrap it up there.
Okay, we can wrap it up.
Okay, so go check out Girl Boss. I totally recommend it.
Awesome.
And we'll see you back here next week.
Bye, guys. You made it through the week, despite your harrowing
I know.
near-death experience.
I hope it doesn't show up.
No, it doesn't.
Last week, I was making toast in the oven, in the broiler, and something went wrong, and I went to open it up to flip the toast over, and I know I should just buy a freaking regular toaster, but whatever, I was making in the oven, and I opened it up, and a huge fireball erupted from my oven. Like first thing in the morning, right? I'm still in my pajamas, and it singed off a bunch of my hair and my eyelashes.
You can't tell, but you were shaken up by it.
I was really shaken up. I mean, a fireball ever, first thing in the morning, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then best of all, the oven repair guy came out and worked perfectly when he was there, because that's how it goes. And he just added some duct tape, and
Wow.
We should be good.
Awesome.
I just think if your oven,
Fingers crossed.
if your oven breaks, it should not fail. So I used to be an engineer, and you'd be like, well, how does something fail? It has to like fail safely, right? I don't think huge freaking 5-foot fireball is like
No.
failing safely. And the best part is that my husband Joe was in the room and witnessed it, because he said that if I would have gone and told him later, like, a huge fireball came out of the oven, he would have been like, yeah, sure. I'm sure there was like maybe a little poof. That was weird. He was like, no, it reached to the microwave. So anyway, use caution if you have a gas oven.
Yikes.
That stuff's dangerous.